Baby beard.
Baby beard.
Baby beard.
Baby beard.
All right, well, that was a bad suggestion. Shut up and take my podcast.
Hooray!
Hello,
Hey.
everyone. Welcome to Shut Up and Take My Podcast, the Futurama podcast where we look at every episode of Futurama from the beginning all the way to the end and beyond until it ends.
You okay, Sean?
Holy shit. That's how you get the energy up, and now I just want to sleep. Hi, I am Sean, and I'm joined here by James.
Hello.
And Chris.
Hello.
I don't think I introduced us last week.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah,
I'm pretty
that's
sure you
all
did.
right.
Good.
Doesn't matter.
Hopefully
People
everyone knows
should
us
know.
by now.
You guys love us, don't you?
We're looking at episode 8, guys.
Cool.
Cool.
Big
Sweet.
piece of garbage.
Yes.
That's
Yep.
the name of the episode.
Yes.
Not the opinion.
The director is Susie Dieta, our first female director
Hooray.
of Futurama and The Simpsons.
Hooray.
Actually,
What, do we
and
know what she directed first?
Simpsons?
Yeah,
As in,
but what episode?
no.
Okay. No,
I can tell you that later when we're not recording or
Okay.
when we are recording, and then we'll put it into the post. So
We'll
I'll
edit it.
give a
We'll
bit of a
edit
shout out.
it in like really dodgily.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is insert here in like the
Mr.
word, in like the
Black.
word, in the word reader voice.
Yeah.
Writer is Lewis Morton, who is an SNL writer. Also wrote for, was executive producer for Walk Hard, the Dewey Cox
Oh,
story.
really?
Yeah. I thought you would
like
understand that.
movie, but-
Yeah, I quite like that movie as well.
But also he gave us the Futurama episode Amazon Women in the Mood.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so this is the writer we're dealing with. Air date, May the 11th, 1999. No Star Wars pun this week.
Damn.
Yep.
Introducing a lot of characters.
Yeah.
So we've got
Yes.
Morbo and Linda, the news anchors.
Yep.
I love me some Morbo. Wernstrom.
Wernstrom.
Love me some Wernstrom.
Yeah. The mayor? Is that the first time
Mayor
it's the mayor?
Poopenmeyer.
Poopenmeyer.
Mayor.
It's a
Mayor.
serious mayor pooping my...
And another cameo that doesn't quite hold up, which
Yeah.
is Ron Popeil, who is known as the infomercial guy.
Yeah.
He's the one that quoted, but wait, there's more.
See,
This
yeah.
comes
He,
from
he
him.
I
coined,
assumed
he
it was-
coined that.
Yeah, he coined that.
Yeah.
Sammy, it's not the ShamWow guy.
No,
Yeah.
not the ShamWow guy.
We'll re-edit it.
This
Yeah.
was, the precursor to ShamWow.
The original ShamWow.
Well, I mean, it holds up in the sense that we know. You watch that episode and you're like, he's probably from infomercials.
yeah, well,
you know.
you know the saying, but wait, there's more.
Yeah, exactly.
Everyone knows that.
Yeah.
It's
It's
been
so
ingrained into our
infamous.
society.
It's just like that Dick Clark thing where I get it and I understand the reference.
Everyone
but
knows Dick
it's-
Clark,
It's
but
just funny
been
how
so many
it's
years.
it's just funny how that's so ingrained to that kind of late 90s,
Yes.
early noughties
It's
kind of
weird
culture.
that like some things they get so right that it's lasted up until now and you
Yeah.
understand, but some things where it just fades completely and
Yes.
they can be spot on sometimes, but some things just like nope,
Yep.
you have no idea who that is.
Who wants to run down the plot? Who wants to run down the plot?
I'll go with the plot because
Okay.
I did the yelling. I guess
Yeah.
that seems what we've been doing lately.
It's what we
I've
did
been
last
yelling
episode.
Professor Farnsworth is shown up at a inventors
Symposium.
Symposium.
He says, I'm going to invent something. It turns out he already invented the smelloscope. He tries it out, Fry tries it out, and finds there's a giant smelly piece of garbage heading to New York, and they've got to stop it.
A big piece of garbage.
Dun, dun,
Big piece of
dun.
Big piece of garbage.
Yeah, and basically it's Armageddon / Deep Impact, which came out the previous year. So
Yep.
they've got lots of...
They
like,
both
stuff.
came out in the same year.
Yeah,
Very,
so two
very-
studios going up against each other.
It's
Very
like the
fresh
Bugs Life
material.
Ants sort of thing.
So
Yeah.
even like when there's a scene where like it was media in the movie, but this is a burger. A
Yeah.
burger comes
Yeah,
down,
burger.
rips through like buildings and after building, and I'm like, that's an exact knockoff of Armageddon.
Yep.
But I love it.
Okay, I'm really interested in what's about to come because I've heard a bit from Chris and I've been watching James's reaction, but we'll see. What do we think of this episode, guys?
I think I like the first half, and then the
Yeah.
second kind of
I agree with you, James.
Yeah.
I really agree
It's
with
like
you.
he's like the old inventor side, and he's
Yep.
going to the symposium.
Yep.
That's a lot of fun. And then as soon as we've got to stop a giant garbage ball, kind of fades. a little.
I found anytime Mayor Poopenmeyer was in the scene, the whole episode slows to a grinding
Yeah.
halt, and we just get dialogue, narrative. Like it is just exposition. They
They have to ask permission for everything,
Yeah.
which I don't necessarily like. I feel like they should. Professor Farnsworth probably has the capacity to organize and deal with the problem himself.
Yeah.
I feel like maybe they should have been turned away once and said, okay, I'm going to go save it.
Well, yeah, exactly. Like, you kind of go like, we have to warn the mayor. It's like, why?
Yeah.
Just sort it yourselves.
I would have preferred if they went with believing Wernstrom and then they had to save the day anyway.
Yeah.
That would have been a bit more going on their own, because I feel like maybe having support from the government it doesn't make it as powerful.
Well, I mean, it's kind of the Futurama line, is that they're all misfits and outcasts.
And now they're not. They're part of the system.
Yeah, they're part of the system. They're working for the man.
Yeah,
you know, it's a bit weird. It's a bit funny.
I don't mind.
Not in a good way.
I don't mind the message of 21st and 20th century waste.
Yeah, the environmentalism message is pretty good. And back in 1999, pretty spot on as far as like how bad environmentalism was back then. And it's pretty bold of the episode to like talk about that sort of stuff in those times.
Yeah, and literally the fact that one day our garbage will come back to kill us.
Yeah, exactly. It's oddly, it has foresight.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. For that aspect, I do like the episode, but it does dwindle a bit, and the laughs seem to stop about halfway through.
It doesn't feel terribly preachy.
No, it doesn't. No, that's the good thing.
I would point that out.
It just happens to be that's the story.
Yeah.
Not this is bad.
Yeah, it's not the robots global warming episode.
Yeah,
and even that one I don't think is particularly preachy either.
They do a good job at not being too preachy.
That's right.
They just
Futurama does
be
straddle that line.
Sean, what did you think?
Completely disagree with both of you.
Wow.
I love this episode. This is an episode that actually gets its first Emmy Award nomination. And it loses out to King of the Hill.
Really?
Yeah.
Good
so
on,
King of the Hill
good
gets
on
an
King
Emmy.
of the Hill.
Oh my God.
I think this is another going along the lines of a quintessential Futurama episode. I think we're getting the first instance of Farnsworth. First of all, Farnsworth is turning into the Farnsworth that he is going to be, which is straddling the line between insanity, Alzheimer's, and jokes. I'm getting lines and moments from Fry. Fry is still an idiot and gives me my favorite physical gag of missing the launch
button.
That was good. That was
just
good.
Motor skills that just shot or just can't see it. But also it gives Fry the first opportunity to be competent from his time, where it's basically, okay, I'm going to show you what I know and what I can do. And he brings that into the year 3000. Guest characters that I thoroughly enjoy from now into the future. Wernstrom being the main one, because no matter what mood Farnsworth is in, the second Wernstrom enters the room, his anger jumps to 12.
Yeah, it's great.
Wernstrom! And it's in his face. Little things like physicality, in more to the point, the facial expressions from certain characters are just beautiful.
I will say I do love when it's like, Wernstrom's like, you need some kind of like people go on a suicide mission up there, and like Professor Farnsworth's like smile as he turns
to his
and then
crew.
It's like, crap.
This is also the first time we get that classic Futurama staple of there is a big epic threat that's going to be coming to the world.
Yeah.
We get all the characters together. They find a way to combat that threat, and they save the day. But nothing really much changes in the end. We have a environmental message that, I was worried that it was going to be too overly preachy, but it doesn't really cross that line. And it's enough where they're getting the message across, but they're also using it to further some of their gags and some of their one-liners, so they don't go too far into it being, you are all doomed, this is shit.
Yeah.
But we're using it for lines as well. And I did not find that the mayor scenes lagged. I thought there was enough in there that kept me invested. I enjoyed the character of the mayor. I thoroughly enjoyed this episode up along there with Love's Labour's Lost in Space.
Oh,
wow.
Hi.
What's our favorite moment from this episode then? If you, Sean, if you had to pick, and James, if you can think of one.
I know. Okay, there's a few things.
There's a few.
Just like I'll get to a small point before I go on to bigger things. And I'll just mention this before, like just the whole like eat my shorts gag. It's not something that like I find relatively seems funny now, but it's something when I was a kid I enjoyed a lot.
Yeah.
That whole like pushing the two together between Simpsons and Futurama.
Yeah.
Very enjoyable.
Keeping them in the same universe.
Yeah, I mean, they put Simpsons into last week. in the sash that Bender wears as part of a prime minister. One of the little pins that's on him is Homer Simpson's face.
Homer Simpson's face. Yeah. I mean, that's a
That's a little
very
Easter egg.
That's
That's very, it's not blatant at all.
No, that's right.
You have to be looking for it.
Yeah.
And what else? Bender's, I like when Bender is at the symposium and his hat is basically like stuck on his antenna and it keeps spinning around.
Yeah, it's
Just
kind
the-
of
just the
jaunty.
physics of that.
Kind of
Physics,
jaunty.
just a little detail.
Yeah.
It's like you're watching it, but it's constantly rolling around. I'm like, I'd like the effort they put in.
Yeah.
For that, joke-wise, I do like the very opening where Farnsworth is like, "You'll be going to what's it?
Ebola 9.
Ebola 9, the virus planet." And it's like, why are we going tonight? Because I want you to be alive. Because we're going to a symposium. I'm like, I thought that was absolutely great. I love that. I don't mind Wormstrom's fish.
Cinnamon.
Yeah, I just like it's so strange. I mean, and there's like bad fish and slaps with his newspaper when Farnsworth is showing the doodle he has drawn.
I'm a cowboy for some
It
reason.
seemed like for the fact that he just drew it and he was showing everyone and he's like, it seems to be me as a cowboy. Like he had forgotten he just drew it.
Well,
that's what I love so much
just
about it.
previous to that was I'll need to invent something quick.
Maybe
some sort of death clock.
Professor.
Did I put you young whippersnappers in your place?
Hardly.
And we learn Farnsworth is 149.
Yes.
Yeah.
God damn. My
Oh, and
favorite.
they introduced the University of Mars.
They do.
Which we'll be seeing later.
I don't know if they introduce it. They introduced that with Amy Wong.
They mention it.
They mention it.
Yeah, because
Yes.
Amy's from Kappa Kappa Wong.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
that's where Farnsworth was teaching.
That's right.
we
and
actually
we
see
see
it
it.
for the
We
first
see
time.
it
We see it
in
for the first
university.
time, and then
Yeah.
later on we'll go there, and then like Bender's part of a
Fraternity.
and
robots.
it's like Animal House shenanigans.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which is I like that episode.
When they're throwing the bomb around and Bender doesn't know what to do with it. So he swings back his arm, throws it up in the air. It bounces off a comet.
Yeah, I do like that.
And comes straight back down. A lot of physical gags, actually, like Fry missing the dot.
My favorite is I love cinnamon.
Yeah.
I love like
Very cute.
I love cinnamon. It's very cute.
I'm not sure, like, out of all these scientific experiments, that's
Yeah.
the top.
Yeah.
Creating scuba
Well,
suits for fish.
Yeah.
It seems
reverse
like some of the
scooter
other entries were what, the propeller hat?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I mentioned it. I was like, how does he stay on? Because he's just winding the crank, and yet his body, like, wouldn't the hat fly away?
No,
like,
it's attached. I'm sure it's attached.
It's attached from the inside.
from
Science.
the inside.
Science.
And
Inventors.
that's why it was
Oh.
entered.
Oh, okay.
I quite liked the gag of the inventors building only being 2 stories compared to the skyscrapers. It's
Yeah.
a blink and you miss it kind of gag, but the idea that scientists and inventors make no money and they're kind
Yeah.
of like in a shanty little thing, that was nice. Bender ordering all the wine, the different names for the wines were very funny.
Yeah.
And then,
Then he
his,
just puts it
then
in
his
a-
quip of like, just mix them all together.
mix them
That
all
was
together.
great. Farnsworth is fleshed out. That's one of the big things that I really love about this episode.
It's starting to
It's
come towards the
Farnsworth.
Farnsworth that we know at his peak.
It's the Farnsworth establishing episode.
Yeah.
It explores him.
They literally open the episode with good news, everyone,
Yes, they do.
which they will do quite often.
Yeah.
My favorite moment is Fry missing the rocket.
yeah.
His oops, and it's paired with Farnsworth counting down and then back up. So
down.
we see like the family resemblance.
Yes,
So it's a nice
definitely.
bit of storytelling, and it's mirrored quite nicely.
Yeah.
You know that they are both kind of incompetent.
We'll stack it up against the last episode, and I'll just go first because I will be voting for this episode.
Yeah, of course.
Over My Three Sons.
Really?
And I'll just leave it at that.
I'm just gonna vote for My Three Sons.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
Hands
my 3
down.
sons.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'd be interested to hear what Sean. What part don't you like?
What part didn't I like?
If you were being critical of this episode,
of course.
yeah.
If I was being critical of,
what part would you not like? Or James, why don't you go first?
start off.
A lot of the gags and humour seemed to dwindle a little bit when they had their mission to stop the meteor of trash or
Yep.
the garbage.
The giant garbage ball.
Yeah, giant garbage ball. Just maybe because the fact that they were getting help from the government, or the government,
Sure.
they were basically like being paid, or they were going to get some kind of reward out of it, rather than them sorting it out themselves, or them being like discarded, being like, I don't want to believe you, then them sorting it out. I
Yeah,
would
so like they're consistent kind of like returning to the mayor's office sort of thing.
Yeah, well, it's like they didn't.
No autonomy?
Yeah, like I wanted them to sort out the problem themselves, and then maybe the mayor side of Wormstrom. It just would have been more satisfying to see them be rejected all the time that they are. Maybe they didn't need to get a reward at the end. I mean, understand maybe they'd save the day, but I just like the idea that they're losers.
Yep.
But they
Yeah.
have each other. That's just personal taste, I
Yeah.
guess.
Sean, any section that you would be critical of?
At first, I was thinking that maybe it's the fact that we don't see a lot of secondary characters, but no, because I'm happy happy with a lot of the introduction to Wernstrom and to Pupenmeyer. I don't mind so much them working with the mayor and such, because this is a New York story as well. So it is about the state as a whole, and so they're working with the state, and this is the first time they do that.
If the mayor was funnier, I think I would have liked it. The mayor was a bit bland for me.
I'm going to double down on what James said. To me, I would prefer this episode if it was Nixon.
Yeah, I prefer
Nixon
the idea of them basically, like, they, for all they could have done is basically rip off Quimby from The Simpsons and just give me a corrupt mayor.
Yeah.
They would have been like, oh, he's a corrupt mayor, and maybe he doesn't want to do it out of greed. He can make money somehow. It's like, all right, this is going to cost money. I don't care.
Yeah.
Go away.
Yeah.
Like the episode, actually, now that I properly do a proper think about it, I think the mayor is the weakest link, and I think he fundamentally bothers me in the episode.
Yeah. I just feel like he should be crooked.
Yeah, I agree.
It feels right.
I love the porno, the information porn.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like,
I love that the music still
Yeah, the
stays the
music
same.
plays.
For the
It's the exact same
with gusto. Dun, dun, dun.
And I will both agree and disagree with that point, and that because I disagree with the point where I think the jokes fell flat with the mayor. I agree that he is the weakest link.
Right.
And you're right. If we had a stronger and antagonistic mayor that can side with Wernstrom, and it is a failure on Wernstrom or something that the Planet Express crew does that finally tips it, okay, we have to go with you. Whereas you have part of the conflict coming from them trying to get the mayor on board, which is they're going, this happened 1,000 years ago.
Yeah.
We need to do something about it.
Look ahead to the one with, I think, the robots causing all the...
Everyone has to fire their exhaust.
Yes, and it's kind of like, I think everyone goes with the Wernstrom plan, and it's like Nixon's like the leader now, and basically like the Planet Express crew basically have to save the day in their own way.
And just basically
because Farnsworth's plan with Nixon is to burn all the robots or kill all the robots.
Yeah. That's right.
Where they
with the laser.
Yeah,
Yes.
and where the Planet Express crew is just move the planet. Going with a different plan, sorting it out their way and their way working is more satisfying than going with the government. And if Nixon, like you said, if Nixon was in this episode, it would be great. It'd be like,
and also
who can we kill or pay to solve this problem?
Also, you can draw an allusion to the fact that Nixon Bonder. And Nixon comes from that era as well.
Yeah.
So we can draw allusions to that. It's like he should know better, but of course he doesn't because he's Nixon.
Nixon is the one that introduced tougher air laws in New York City that basically stop smog happening all of New York.
Lean into that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a real shame because the episode is really good in a lot of ways, actually. Properly, like if I'm cutting, just in my head, cutting out the mayor, the episode is really good. It's just the mayor slows the whole thing down to a grinding halt for me. And I think had he not been neutral, because we're introduced to the mayor as a neutral character, and his comedy comes from his name, Mayor Pupenmeyer, and that's supposed to carry that scene forward. Unless you find that joke particularly funny,
you have to love that joke.
You really have to dig that joke.
You have to love the idea that his name's Pupenmeyer for the entirety that you see him.
Yeah, and you're like,
it's Pupenmeyer.
It's Pupenmeyer. He's back.
Yeah,
like that has to carry that through the whole scene, and it doesn't, because otherwise, if you take away Mayor Pupenmeyer's name, he's just a non-character.
Yeah.
He has no personality. He's a New York mayor. That's kind of it. Like, he doesn't have much of it.
And it couldn't be a mayor on their side because...
Yeah, there's no conflict.
You need conflict. It had to be someone.
Yeah,
like
that they had to fight up against.
Or even if you just had a mayor that's on the other side of a spectrum, which is one that doesn't have power and is very weedy, and so someone like Wernstrom can just dominate over.
Yeah.
So we make Wernstrom more this antagonistic character.
I would just have Wernstrom. I would just have, like, he gets the award. They go away. They're like, we have to tell the head of science in New York, and it's like, oh, who's the head of science in New York? Well, as of last night,
he's basically taken over. Yeah.
We doubled down on this character we now know as an antagonist, who will become an antagonist further on.
Yeah, so cut the mayor, replace him with Wernstrom or Nixon.
Yeah, and I like that they succeed at the end, but also I find it frustrating that it's done in such a way where they get the medal, hands are raised, crowd claps. Like, pick a less cliche way of ending.
That's deliberate. That's completely deliberate. It's a thing of, yay, status quo. Oh, do we need to worry about it? Not in our lifetimes. Yay! Like, that's totally deliberate. And I would hate it being any other way than that.
Still.
Cliche ending so that everyone's like, oh, everything's back to normal and we don't have to worry about anything until 1,000 years later. Woo.
Is this like the trophy they're holding? It's a person holding a giant ball. Is that ball supposed to be?
No.
It's the same award that, but like they did the silly thing of that award that Wernstrom won at the symposium. He's a giant douchebag.
Yeah, we've stripped it off
Yeah,
him.
but isn't the statue? Isn't it like someone holding a giant circular object?
No, it's
No.
atoms. He's holding atoms.
Yeah.
Atoms.
6 of them.
Yeah, but they
Simpsons quote,
It
guys.
looks circular.
Yeah.
Couldn't it be humanity holding trash? A trash ball?
I think I would just, to me, like that end is the closest it gets to being really preachy.
Oh, I disagree.
Like that to me is like the finale of it being like, and it's the same in the robot episode. They're like, oh, we fixed it, and then they just start partying and create more smog again. It's like, well,
yeah.
it's a bit preachy towards the end. I feel like ending the episode, ending an clearly environmental episode with an environmental message at the end, kind of doubles down on the preachiness of it.
I don't think over preachy though. I think they balance that quite.
I don't think it's over preachy. I think it's close.
line.
I think it's really close.
It's close, but I don't think it jumps over.
Okay.
It's possible.
I'm happy with that ending.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying it's not possible. Certainly not one of the top 10 worst episodes.
Not even fucking
No,
close.
it's not close.
It's on a lot of lists of top Futurama episodes.
It will be low on ours.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's low on ours.
For now.
Yeah.
We'll see a few seasons in.
Anyway,
Impressions, everybody.
Impressions. Christ, I forgot.
You're not getting away from it.
Yeah. Who do we want to impersonate then?
I'll get one of you guys to pick this time.
I'm thinking Wormstrom
I'm
or
thinking
Mayor.
Wormstrom.
I was going to Mayor Poopenmeyer, but Wormstrom.
Matt Pippenmeyer, I think, is just kind of a New Yorkie kind of.
Yeah,
Yeah.
let's go Wormstrom.
Hardly. That's a bit. The reverse. How do you do it? The reverse scuba soup. Come here, cinnamon. That's about as close as I'll get.
James?
Farnsworth.
Well, no, because that's Farnsworth. He's so deep
Yeah.
in.
Dottery and-
true.
Sorry, Wenstrom's kind of creaky.
Oh, I can't do it. It's just impossible without practicing.
I've been waiting 100 years for this,
Yeah,
Farnsworth. Giving you the lowest score possible. An A minus.
That's really good, Sean. That's really good.
I looked up how to do it on here. No, I didn't.
You looked it up on your phone.
That's good. That's good.
Cool.
That's probably the best one.
I think that's our most divisive episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a good episode.
And we'll see how divisive we are for next week.
Yeah.
What we got next week?
Oh,
We got Hell is Other Robots.
hell is other robots. I'm so excited to hear what you guys have to think.
But until then, I have been Sean.
And I've been James.
I've been Chris.
And we'll now go fight.
Yeah, if we don't agree on an episode, we have a fight.
To the death.
Yeah, we replace each of us.
Clones.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.
See ya.
One that's still
Wacky
being used.
outtake. Insert one.
You know, and just
I
like
hate to inform you, they are making Tetris a movie.
doesn't surprise me.
Is it Sony?
I don't know.
Probably.
If Sony's making the emoji movie, that can make
They
Tetris.
are, aren't they?
Yeah.
We
And-
need to stop.
and-
we need to stop depressing ourselves.
and
'Cause
We're
an
going to get
emoji
eventually.
that has multiple faces, like can make any face, goes on an app venture.
I'll murder you.
You know what's
Holy
next? I should grab a book.
Grab your book.
I have that problem as well. Like I'll be looking at my phone, like because of OCD, and I'm literally looking at my phone, and I'm like, phone. Yes, I have my phone into my pocket.
Really?
No,
Yeah.
mine's I've just got a microphone in front of me. We're just recording.
Who's that? It's Tameka?
Yeah.
Hey, Tameka.
Hey,
What's up? No, we're not nerds.
we'll do Walter White like a dub, but like we're making really nasally. Say my name.
Say my name.
I'm Mickey Mouse. I am the danger. Who?
I'm the one who knocks. Blah!
What was that?
SpongeBob jellyfishing.
yes.
Blah!
Okay, you can play. You be Jesse, and I'll be Walter White.
Oh, okay. I need a
Come
line.
on, Jesse. Let's cook.
What's up, bitch? Blah!
The worst Breaking Bad ever. And then once we're done, we'll open up these goddamn windows.